Hey, this is Asha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. And what I want to share with you in this video is why following your passion most of the time is horrible financial advice. So if you're looking to follow your passion, you want to go ahead and make your passion a career because you never have to work a day in your life. That's not necessarily a good thing. So stay tuned. I'm going to share with you some insights on why that is. All right, so you might have taken a certain hobby. You've taken up maybe dance, photography. You love to read. You love to write. Maybe you love to play chess, sports, yoga, martial arts. There's so many things out there that we might be passionate about. Some people are into piano, guitar, but eventually those things fade. We always think that, hey, if I follow my passion, I can go ahead and turn it into a career. If I'm a dancer, I can go ahead and make money from dance. Unfortunately, certain industries, they just don't pay a lot. And even if you do follow your passion, unless you're one of the top 2% in that industry, really networking, really hustling, even then you might just be living on an okay salary, but not even generating some great income. So that's what you need to really think about as you look to following your passion versus following the income or following the money. Now we're going to go ahead and cover this in a little more detail, but before I do, I just want to remind you to check out some of the great freebies we have on our MyLittleNestEgg website and getting started pages as well. So check that out at our website at MyLittleNestEgg.com. Now I don't want you to think that I'm just honing in and focusing in on following the money. There is a point behind passion. When you have passion, you have drive, you have motivation. People always say you'll never have to work a day in your life if you follow your passion or do things that you enjoy. And that is partly true, but even then I found that I followed my passion in multiple things. I've done things like photography, which I really loved, and graphic design, and I've done things with websites. So I followed my passion. And you could say I followed my passion in teaching. I've done martial arts. I've owned a martial arts studio. So I've done that. And in teaching, I love to teach. I started teaching actually martial arts, and then I started teaching finance, and now I'm teaching other subjects, which I love teaching. But sometimes some of these passions are really horrible. They're, in fact, quite pathetic. When I ran a martial arts studio, it wasn't very successful. I really just did it for the kids. But this paid me around $1,500 a year. I was there 2 days a week and 2 hours each time. $1,500 a year. I wasn't making much. I was just doing it, to help the kids out after college. I didn't want the studio to close. So the martial arts studio was given to me. So we just basically did it almost at cost. I think it was like $39 per month per person. And no more new students. So that way we could just focus in on the people we have there. But I went ahead, I did photography as well. Loved it. I enjoyed photography. But unfortunately, this was all weekends most of the time because people were working during the weekday and I had weddings to do. And I loved going out to weddings. I loved, meeting new people and socializing and those kinds of things. But again, a little bit more, had its pros and cons. So even though I enjoyed it, there was a little bit of drawbacks. And by the time I was done, my back hurt, and carrying the backpack. So it does everything. No matter what you're doing with your passion, you're gonna have some pros and cons to it. Unfortunately, some people's passion, what they end up doing, it doesn't pay a lot. So let's say you're into maybe dance or becoming a dance instructor. So unless you're like a top world dance instructor, you might only make on average, let's say $39,000 a year. Okay, looking at a photographer, again, if you're maybe a top of the line photographer, but here maybe you're only making about $100,000 a year, plus you got to deal with the expenses of it. So that's kind of the issue that happens. But you might be more motivated and you have the drive. So that's all good and fine and dandy. Well, when you really follow the money, this is where things get a little more interesting, because if you're following money instead of passion, that money can lead to passion. It can create more freedom. So let's say you are a doctor and maybe you still have some pros and cons or things that you just don't like, just in the same way that maybe I didn't like things about photography or running a martial arts studio or graphic design or, those kinds of things. Maybe you don't like some of the things about being a doctor. Maybe it's the bureaucracy of it. Maybe it's the insurance part. But the thing is now you have the money. So let's say you are making $160,000 a year as a doctor And now you've got a little more free time, you've got a little more cash, so you could go ahead and have more fun doing other things to balance out your life. So whereas here you're trying to balance your career and the income and trying to make it fun, whereas over here you're going in, you're doing your work, you're doing your job, you're honing and focusing, and you're dealing with it in the same way that you'd be dealing with it here. But now you get to go out, have fun, and you're not worried, or there's a lot less stress about money. Okay, I know a handful of people when I used to go to dance, doing a lot more West Coast swing dance, that a lot of people, they wanted to teach, teach on the side, but those people weren't earning a lot of money or income. So there was much more stress financially of, hey, how do I pay my bills? How do I go ahead and go to these events and pay for those things? Well, they became more stressful. They were more stressed out because you're trying to take this thing that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, trying to make some money from it, but unfortunately you still got bills to pay, you got events to go to, and the expenses start to add up and you're not making enough money. So that stress starts to creep in. Whereas if you're already making money, there's a lot less stress on the money side of things. It's not to say you don't have stress over on the career or job side, but you have a lot less stress from the financial side. And now what you could do is go out and go to the dances, or you could go ahead and do a hobby that you enjoy specifically for hobbies. You could go and do photography on your own terms. You don't have to have clients. You could just go and take pictures of nature and birds and just enjoy yourself. So it becomes more focused in on pleasure for you rather than, hey, I enjoy photography, but now I have to cater to clients' demands. So think about that. Sometimes if you're trying to take your passion and you're trying to take it into a career or money focus, it doesn't end up well. Instead, sometimes the better alternative is to look at the money side and find something that you can balance things out with, meaning you can deal with it. If you like math and science, maybe you want to be more an engineer or study chemical sciences or something like that. If you like teaching, maybe you could do some of your own teaching, tutoring. I know a couple of math tutors that do fantastic at college levels, and they're doing private tutoring. So you find the money part, and then you can balance things out with the hobbies that you want to take up. And that's much more pleasurable then, rather than taking, a hobby and trying to convert it, because then you have to really cater to the clients, do what they want to do on their schedule, on their terms. Whereas here, if you've got money, then what you could do is you could take up 5 or 10 different hobbies. You could do it on your own terms. You could go ahead and, if you want to go take pictures of birds, go take pictures of birds. You want to take pictures of nature, go do that. If you want to go to a dance event, go to a dance event. So, if you want to pick up some graphic design skills, you could go ahead and study that on your own terms. So that's the thing that you need to think about as you go into a certain career and path, and focusing on, hey, do I want to focus a little more on my passion, or do I want to focus on the money side? And I'm sure that there's many things that you could do that are good and well-paying careers, but they still generate some money and income. So look at where that is and try to find a balance of, hey, this job, this career, this path will yield me some good income, and then I can also do what I enjoy. So maybe you have a career that you'll find things that you enjoy about it, because you'll be successful at it. And once you're successful at it, you'll find that enjoyment and pleasure. And then you'll take up these hobbies that you also enjoy, because you'll have the capital, you'll have the means to be able to do it. But if you're just breaking even, you're a dance instructor, and maybe you want to take up, something else like photography, you might not have the means or capacity to buy cameras to be able to pursue that passion further. Okay, so I hope that gives you some thoughts and insights on passion versus your money side, and which one you should kind of follow, and balancing things out. I know that there's a lot of hobbies in the world that you could take up, and we've done all kinds of things like sports hobbies, from playing baseball, hockey, soccer. Maybe when you were a kid, that was a hobby, that was a passion for maybe a few years for you. Maybe playing a musical instrument, a guitar, piano, violin. Again, a passion, but most people don't continue that process in their life to make it a career. And and that's what you have to look at is, hey, what can I do that's somewhat balanced out, where I can make some decent money and income, but then use that as a as a means, as a power engine to enjoy life a bit more. Because there's always, in any job, any career, any situation you're going to be in, there's always going to be clientele that you have to cater to. It's not going to be 100% pleasurable, no matter in what industry. Even I followed my passion multiple times. It just doesn't work out that way. So anyways, thanks for joining me. Hope it opened up your eyes a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel right here, or grab some of the freebies by clicking the link right here. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.